So friends, usually when we say time, it means past, present, and future. But in our spiritual path, in spiritual awakening, time means past and future, because time is of mind and mind needs movement. So mind either goes to past or either goes to future. But the present moment, here and now, is beyond mind. So our past and future can be horizontal, but our present moment is vertical. So once we are in present moment, it's up to us how deeper we can go. So going deep inside that verticality is meditation. So deeper we go, deeper we unreveal part of ourselves. We go to this source, towards this infinite consciousness. So mind always takes us either to the past, to the things that has already happened. It tries to um, get closer or try to analyze it, or bring all the depressive thoughts from the past, from your childhood, teenagers, why my dad did that, why that guy bullied me, you know your relationships, your desires. It goes to past and try to figure out life, and past is already gone. You cannot do anything about it. Yes, we can learn from it, we can unlearn from it, and we can transform ourselves, but there's nothing in the past really. So even if you went to a most beautiful birthday party or vacation last week, it's gone. You cannot do anything about it. You have to live in this present moment. Or mind takes us to the future. Oh, I'm going to open a big meditation retreat center. I'm going to do this and that. And yes, we all have dreams and visions that we have a sole purpose that we want to do, but it's beautiful when it flows. But if we use our own mind and get stuck into it, then it gives us anxiety. If we're trying to control future, it gets anxiety. So mind needs movement, thought needs movement, and movement is this samsara, this illusion, what we call maya. Whenever we have movement in our mind, because it needs to do something. But meditation is here in the present moment, and present moment is beyond time. So that's why in all the gurus and the teachers have said past and future is part of the mind. That's why it's part of the time, because that time we created by our own mind. And to be present moment, nature has given us so many things. Like if you see beautiful sunset, beautiful sunrise, eat delicious food, play with kids, you dance, you sing, you do art, for a moment you are in the present moment. You don't even think about past or future. Even sexual orgasm, that you are so in the present moment. During orgasm, you don't think about, oh, I have to call my mom. Those things does not disturb you. You are totally in the present moment when you look at the sunrise, sunset. But those are very short-lived moments. So what nature is trying to say is, if you are in the present moment totally, if you are eating your food deliciously, totally, passionately, with awareness, then that is bliss. That is truth. That is your happiness. You don't have to go outside and pursue happiness. Happiness is already there. All you have to do is go beyond your mind. And beyond the mind is the present moment. So these are very short-lived moments in our life. Sometimes that we get that awe moment when you see that mountain, when you see that trees, when you see that beautiful man or woman, or if somebody is very stylish or creative, that person is so different. You can just feel that person is different, and your mind just stops. That state of no mind is present moment. So in present moments, that is tip of the iceberg, and it's up to us how deeper we want to go. So every time we sit in meditation, we go deeper and deeper. We try to penetrate the verticality of the present moment. So that's why meditation needs constant practice, everyday practice. It's not like Sunday church, you do one day and then 7 days you don't do it, then you start. No, you need every day, you have to at least give half an hour, 1 hour for your journey, where you are unoccupied with past and present, future, and then you are in the present moment. You go and see beyond that thoughts, and our consciousness is a blank screen, like in movie theater. It does not discriminate if you play a good movie or bad movie, horror movie or comedy movie. It doesn't know. The consciousness reflects whatever is thrown at it. So that pure consciousness is us, and mind is constantly throwing things on us. That's a good person, that's a good party, that's a um, it is always for or against or neutral, throwing, bombarding on our screen, and that screen reflects the same thing, projects same thing. If I am very angry inside, then that anger will be reflected on other person. If I'm very loving, that will be reflected to other person. If I have a judgment that certain race, certain religion is bad, then I'll keep on projecting that to other person. So this screen reflects whatever the mind throws. And the mind is not our nature, it's not the truth, but the screen is our nature. And the meditation is nothing but to remove the dust, remove those ideas thrown at the screen, so that we reflect as we are. There is no judgment. When we see the greens of the trees, we are like, we don't try to think how it became green. We just enjoy the greenness of the tree. And other things that help us to bring in the present moment, other than meditation, is love. Love is the first doorway to come to the present moment. If you remember in your high school, in your past, when you were in love with a woman, when you go for a date, you forget the whole world. You forget the whole world. You are so much in that present moment. If you kiss, you hold your hand, you don't worry about other people. You are so in the present moment. And in love, when you love someone, you don't care about age, you don't care about race, you don't care about this is American, this is Nepali, this is brown, white. In love, all this discrimination goes away, because that discrimination is given to us by our society, our parents, our conditioned mind. But our true nature, the loving nature, is our screen. So that brings us in the present moment. So love is the first doorway. So if you are a loving person, if there's unconditional love in you, that means you are already living the present moment, and meditation is very easy for you. So love is the first doorway. And love, Osho says, it has to start from ourselves, loving ourselves, self-love. So it has to start with self-love. If we are not self-loving, and if we try to love others, and then that becomes stress, anxiety, because you cannot keep up. There's so many person you want to love, but you cannot keep up. So you have to start with yourself. You have to take care of your body, you have to take care of your mind, emotions, spirit. And that's why we need time for ourselves, me time. So love yourself. And once you have so much love overflowing inside, so before meditation, I always say this, I'm always seeking for attention. I need somebody look at me, somebody hug me, somebody come talk to me. But after meditation, I feel so aligned that I don't need anybody's attention. I'm just sharing my love. If somebody's there, I'll hug. I feel like an emperor, so alone, not lonely. So love brings us in the present moment, and those glimpses of love that we have ever fallen in love, we know that it brings us in the present moment, and our mind is not distracted. And another thing that brings us in present moment is death. And the biggest obstacles for meditator are two things. One is our ego. That ego is given to us by our society, parents, that I, my, me perception, that we are separate. We create that false center. I am Nepali, I am 43 years old, I have education, I have this, my family, my car, my philosophy, my religion, all these, I, my, me perception that creates that false center. And we are given so much ambition. Oh, you have to be a doctor, engineer, you have to build a big house, you have to have 2 kids, 3 kids, and we keep on running after that ego, that false center. And if we achieve it, we become very happy. We become, if we become successful, we are very elated. Our ego is more boosted. Then we don't listen to anybody else. We think that we are the most powerful people. That's what happens to politicians, big businessmen. It's very hard for them to go in meditation because of that false center they have created in them. And if our ego is not successful, if we fail for some reason, then that becomes our wound. And that wound also will not help us to go in the present moment or in the meditation, because now we want to take revenge. Now we want to try harder and harder. So ego is the first disturbance for the meditation. And through meditation, what we are trying to do is recognize our ego, what is false. So truth is already there, but we are just trying to recognize what is false. And second obstacle for meditators is our distracting mind. We are so distracted, constant thoughts, constant chattering. We cannot sit in one place quietly. Or when we sit here, we just want to go and finish something. We have to, our mind is like in Hawaii or in somewhere else or in some big retreat or wherever we want to be. So our mind is very chattering and it does not let us sit in one place. So those are the two distractions. And the antidote is love and the understanding of death. Death also never happens in past or future. It always happens in the present moment, So if you go and work, you work today, but you'll get salary after 2 weeks. But love is in present moment. It always happens when you are in love, when you are in love in the present moment. Death also happens in present moment. It doesn't happen in the past or in the future. And the sense of death, recognizing that we have to die one day, and recognizing life is impermanent. Nothing is permanent in this world. Some moment I was living in Nepal, some moment I was living in India. I had so many friends in Nepal. I had so many friends in India. Now they're all gone. They used to be my best friends. We used to make plans. Oh, we have to do so many things in future, but they are not my reality anymore. And if I hold to that feeling and thought, then I'll be hurt. But if I flow with it, then I made new friends. Even in my meditation today, I always pray for my old friends. So life is impermanent and we just have to flow. If you resist, then all the misery comes. Osho says there is nothing called unconscious mind. There's nothing called collective unconscious mind or cosmic unconscious mind. It is there because we reject things. The moment we accept things as it is, when we flow, there's no misery in life, because we are not able to accept life. That's why we have stress, we have misery, we are very confined to ourselves, we have sad long face, because we didn't accept that moment. So another quality of meditator is to accept the moment. And once we accept it, that life is impermanent, death can happen anytime to anybody. We have our big 5 years plan, but you might not see me tomorrow. So if I live with that courage, then it is very easy to go in meditation. Meditators are very courageous people, because we have given time for ourselves. It is very easy to go and climb Mount Everest. It is very easy to go to the moon, you go to the deepest ocean. It is very easy to do so many things, but it is very, very difficult to sit 15 minutes in silence. So that courage we get because we know that life is not impermanent. Death can come anytime. It can take anything that we have thought that is ours. All I, my, me perception is taken away. And that is the biggest fear. And that's why we want relationship, we want money, just to avoid that fear. In security, we feel very safe. Oh, I'm not going to die, So death and love and meditation are very interrelated. If you cannot meditate if you are not a loving person, and you cannot be a loving person if you don't meditate. And you cannot meditate deeply if you have fear of death. If you accept death, then you can love, and then you can meditate. Because we are so tensed these days, that's why we cannot love anybody, because we are very tense and stressed. We cannot even hold hands, look at in our eyes. We can be present with our beloved, our kids, our co-workers, our um, anybody, because we're so tense and stressed. So meditation is the only way for all these solution to be in the present moment, and always uh, live in your heart center. Use your mind, don't be used by your mind. Whenever mind is needed, use it and just drop it, but live in your heart center. And always know that this life is very beautiful, very precious life. Even negative thoughts, dark thought comes, those are all passing thought, because we have rejected so many things in the past. So that thought keeps on hunting us as nightmare, as darkness, as other things. So accept, recognize those thoughts, accept it, and live blissfully. So this is my message for New Year. So keep meditating, do whatever works for you. You don't have to be doing certain kind of meditation. You can explore. So once you accept that, you have this courage to explore other paths too. What is there? Go and learn, so that you can unlearn. Don't be afraid to travel. Traveling is the most beautiful teacher. Even you are used to driving only 30 minutes, sometimes try driving 1 hour, break that pattern of mind. So some people get panic attack if they have to drive 40 minutes, because they are only used to driving 20 minutes. So explore things, experiment. This life is an experiment. We are scientists, and this earth is our laboratory. We experiment life so that we know what is our fear, where we are stuck. For that, traveling, reading books, reading to enlightened masters. There are so many in YouTube's, nature, and people who are meditating for a long time. Go and talk with them, have satsang with them, go to retreats, and that's why we learn. Otherwise, we are confined to our own space, and then it's very difficult for us to learn. And there's so many things we need to learn, and then so many things we can learn from others. If somebody has read a book, they can just summarize it in 2-3 lines also. We don't have to read that books. We have very limited